All right, so SAO War of the Underworld just finished, and we're about to talk about it. I'm not sure I feel good about what happened in the very end. But yeah, let's talk about it. How did you feel?
I didn't feel good either. You know what? I had high hopes for this. I thought that, because it was part of the Alicization thing, that it would be a lot better. And it did. It honestly started off really, really well. And then the last few episodes was so underwhelming, and quite frankly, it was confusing, and I was just like, "Oh, there it goes down the drain." It just plummeted. Like I have no expectations, any more expectations for SAO.
Yeah. Okay, just to say this first, because I know there's a lot of people who love the show and stuff, and they seem to love it no matter what. And they seem to tell me whenever I have a complaint, don't think about logic, blah blah blah. I'm like, I can't do that. All right, whatever I'm watching,
Yeah.
my brain is always on, unfortunately. So if something weird happens or something that just like
It's just
doesn't make sense,
ridiculous. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm guessing one of the things is like Kirito being extremely overpowered, right? Um, I believe they explained that, or at least there was also a scene where the points effects said, "Okay, you inherited the power from me because Kirito was the one who defeated her."
Yeah.
Which it makes sense, but like we never got to see the extent of her power. So how like he's doing things that she never done, like she's never done. So I get it. The world is based on like your will and based on like if you can think it up or something, or if like you have that emotion or that drive in you, like it happens. So I get that part, but at the same time, it just didn't make for a great story in my opinion, because to me he defeated both villains way too easily.
Yeah.
Everyone else kind of just didn't do much. There was zero. This is SAO, so I get it, but like there was zero character development for practically everyone, other than maybe Kirito a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I would have to say that SAO is like all about, in terms of their fighting, it's not really skills. I would say it's more about like, it's like an emotional fight. So the more
yeah.
emotion you have, the higher your power, I guess. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, it's definitely good in some settings, but if I feel like if they had put more thought into the process of the story and how it comes together, it would have been a lot better. But there was definitely some parts of the story that was plain out ridiculous, and I had no idea, like, who the heck thought of that stuff, especially in the
What are you
last
talking about?
episode. All right, so I'm gonna call it out right now. That last episode where Kirito, Alice, and Asuna went back into the underworld, and all of a sudden there
Oh
was
yeah.
spaceships. What in the world? I know he spent 200 years there and he lost his like memories, but then the one of the guys couldn't, delete his something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, right? And it created another Kirito. But they didn't really explain that thoroughly, and like how that changed some things. And then all of a sudden, like they went back because of God knows who. And also, everybody
Well, they
else is alive within the 200 years that he spent there. I would
well
think someone would die.
no, I think well just to clarify certain things, Alice wanted to go back because she wanted to see her sister. So that's the reason they went back. At least that's what I think. And then
Yeah. But still, like, 200 years wouldn't their lifespan, like, oh, I guess, you know what? Time flies differently. No,
yeah,
no,
well,
no. I don't
she
know.
froze herself. They mentioned that her sister froze herself.
That
So
that is
that
plausible, but what about the other friends, like Kirito's
I think
underlings?
when you're I think for some reason when you become a synthesis knight, you stop aging or something, or like you
Interesting.
become pretty much I'm not sure
Invincible?
about that though. That's
I don't
something that
know.
see there's a lot of details that sort of are there, but they mention it so quickly that it's easy to miss for
Yeah.
sure.
It boggles my
Like
mind.
yeah,
Did they
I
say
think
why
when
there was
you
spaceships and aliens?
no, definitely not. They did not say that part, but but like a lot of the stuff, yes, you can sort of they mention it once and yeah, they give a very, very umbrella I guess, sort of logic to it. It's like, because they said that thing once, you can make sense of it all based on what they said. But like at the same time, what they said was just so broad that so many different things could have happened. And they don't give us that. They don't give us what happened in that 200 years whatsoever between Kirito and Asuna. They don't give us that satisfaction of like knowing exactly how Kirito manifests his power, or like just where, I mean, just because Yujiro died, okay, fine, like you're emotional about that, stuff like that. But like, honestly, even that, I don't think I got enough of them to really care that much. Like at first, sure, I cared when like he was trying to help him out from waking up from being a potato. But after that, when they kept doing it, I was like, I don't really feel anything. I really don't. Like, even though Yujiro is popping up, I don't feel nothing.
And the last moment too, he popped up. I think what makes it that way, at least to me, I didn't care in the end, was because the storyline and the plot, it just started going downhill. And at that point, I was kind of like, should I even invest more of my time into watching the ending of SAO? And, I didn't want to be disappointed. I didn't want to waste my time, but I was already so divested into it. And I thought that it would be really good based off the first season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened, but they seem to have rushed it real hard, in my opinion. Like, I think the story beats were there. It's just the execution of it was poorly done because it felt so fast, to me, at least, when Kirito just defeated the first guy that somehow brainwashed everyone, and they didn't explain that either. And then those two random characters popping up, why? There's like 0 point to it. They just... the use of characters in this story and the way that it was portrayed, it just it felt pointless. It felt pretty close to pointless, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think part of the flaw is that they had so many characters, and I think they really wanted to have an impact on bringing back old characters. But I feel like because they focused more on that, it lost the sense of, like, I don't know, depth for focusing on the like Kirito and like the main characters. I think maybe they're just trying to introduce and maybe bring back some of the nostalgia that everyone has.
Yeah, they're trying to play on nostalgia, but they're trying to, like I said before, they're trying to play it from a place where like they expect us to care about Yujiro. And fine, like maybe in the first season I cared about him, but like now that all this time has passed, it feels like I don't care about him whatsoever. And honestly, what happened between him and Kirito wasn't even much. Like, there isn't that much substance behind it. It's all just like basic, I'm displaying this, or I'm showing this character's feelings, you should believe it, versus like, wow, they went through so much together, stuff like that,
I will have to say, like, they did start off season 1, they started off kind of slow. In my opinion, they were really trying to build the story and the progress of Kirito and Yujiro. They started off as kids and they grew up together, and they showed us the process of them, like, getting the swords and getting their power and overcoming odds. And I was like, oh yeah, shit, this is good. And then, it introduces the Pontifex and the Knights. And then it just kind of, I don't know how, like, it returned to, it was basically like season 2 of SAO, like the original one where there was fairies and stuff. It was basically that, but but worse, because it gave us hope. It gave us hope that it would be like freaking Naruto worthy or something. But I know what you mean. Not. Like, I really didn't care about Yujiro towards the end, and I think the last inkling I felt for Yujiro was when he was trying to wake up from a potato.
Yeah, that was the last thing for me. I mean, once again, these are just our opinions and the way we feel. I'm sure plenty of people still felt like emotionally tied or whatever, but I just couldn't, because this, like I said, the story between them, it just wasn't enough for me. Like, it felt... I
wish they did explain, like you said, the 200 years that they, like, what happened in those 200 years. And also, I wish they kind of explained more in depth how they survived after being pulled out.
Yeah.
I felt like it should have more of an impact on him. Like, damn, I lost 200 years of memories.
I don't know. A lot of it feels superficial to me. Like, we don't... I know people are going to be like, yeah, what are you expecting from SAO? But like...
a better story, goddammit. Haven't you guys learned? I think it's just a money grab too. They know people will watch it.
Maybe. I mean, I love the animation. I love the art style. It's great to look at, but I think for the most part, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it plays out, but at the same time, if it's always going to be at this level of storytelling, I think I might be done.
Yeah. I may have to agree with you, but I think because
We'll see.
SAO is so interesting and I do like those types of I guess the genre,
Yeah,
I would keep watching it. They have me. I think I would. I would for sure if they come out
Yeah.
with a different series, a spin-off or whatever. I think I would still give it a try. And if I'm disappointed, I'm disappointed, but that's on me.
Yeah, I'm considering doing the same, but like, I'll probably just need a cool down time from it. Just like I don't want to think about it whatsoever, just because it really wasn't that good towards the end. Like the ending killed a lot of it. Like once he woke up, it's just like it became kind of.
Yeah, maybe he should have stayed in a coma. Huh?
Yeah, he should have just stayed a potato. It would have been way more interesting.
I think it would have
Like-
been too.
Because basically what happened was like in terms of story, he wakes up, he solves everything, done. Like they got stuck, but fine. Like we didn't get any of that, you know. They didn't give
Yeah.
us anything. And then Alice being in the real world, what did we get from that too? Close to nothing. She just sort of like this tease of a romance or whatever between her and Kirito, which is weird because he already has
Yes,
Asuna.
I'm glad
so
you
it's
brought
like,
that up.
what's the point in that? Like, why did they keep doing that? It's just so
Yeah, especially
annoying.
Well, I'm sure it's more of a fan service, like about like harem type animes. But
Yeah,
it
I
was-
get that, but like maybe they shouldn't have made him already like together with Asuna in that case because
Yeah, like
at that point he's
unattainable.
just like he's just straight up cheating, you know, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
So like why do people like why do people like that? It's like it's what does that say about Kirito as a character, you know?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up though, because I did when they showed bits of romance between him and Alice, I kind of just fast forwarded those parts because I'm like, what is the point? We know he's not going to get together with Alice. Like, we know nothing's going to happen. There is no point in wasting 5 minutes of this episode on that scene. In my opinion. Yeah. Other than that, like even like when Kirito was reunited with his family, like it was definitely very underwhelming. I thought there would be
Oh, that was the first time seeing his dad and stuff like that, right? I think so.
Yeah,
I
there
mean, I
were-
don't remember.
I would say they were pretty nonchalant. I mean, there was only like one kind of parental like you shouldn't have done that or whatever. But
Dude, okay, that was a weird scene. That was a weird scene because his dad literally had one stance and then flipped around right afterwards.
Yes,
That's the way I
exactly.
saw it. Because
there was no what the hell were you doing? Blah blah.
Yeah,
you got into a coma again? Like this
There
is
was
the
literally-
fifth time?
literally no consequence to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Everything just gets solved like that. I don't know, man.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, cool. You saved a world of artificial beings. Cool.
And then they all died because 200 years passed. So like,
Yeah.
What
like at that
exactly
point,
did you
maybe
do?
they shouldn't even have shown him with the family. Like he should just be alone.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm curious as to how you guys feel and about the last, season of SAO.
I
Please
mean, most people
comment down
watching
below.
SAO are gonna know. Don't watch it for the story. Watch it for the visuals. Watch it for the fights.
Yeah.
Watch it for stuff like that. But I guess for me, like, it was just because this one seemed like it had a promising premise, an interesting premise, and it seemed like they could do something different with it and like make the story more interesting and give some character development to more people, stuff like that. And
Agreed.
they didn't do any of that to me.
Yeah.
For me,
I mean, it did
They kind
in
of just
the beginning.
in the beginning, but like if the thing about like for me, if you're gonna do that in the beginning and like the ending just decides to trash all of it, like it was pointless in my opinion because
Yeah.
because
It's
now
basically
we're,
season 8 of Game of Thrones.
yeah basically like season 8 did leave a very bad taste for the entire series, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's what happened for SAO basically for this season. It's just this ending left a bad taste for the rest of it because like it's just gonna end this way. It's just gonna like there isn't much for the characters in terms of like their growth, and like I don't know, it just doesn't leave me satisfied whatsoever.
Happened. Like I really do. I wonder why. It did seem pretty rushed to me, even though they had like 5 episodes to end it from the last time we spoke, or maybe 3 or 4, something like that. But they could have really just told it in like a better way. I don't know.
Yeah, they could have. I just felt like the fight between the first guy and him, like it was somewhat satisfying that he turned him into a big, like a tree, but like at the same time there isn't really much to it because the villains have no tie in my, well, even though he's the leader of the Laughing Coffin, I didn't feel any of that. I didn't like care.
I think it was like they didn't really have the motivation that we wanted. Like I think it was more of like they had shitty motivation. Like it really would it. I felt like they tried to push their motivation onto us to make it like a logical thing of, for example, the last one where he really wanted Alice's soul. But is that enough to sacrifice yourself? And the fight between him and Kirito was underwhelming. I would say the fight between him and Shion was a lot better than his fight with Kirito. Sinon. My bad. Please don't flame me for that. But yeah, I think that fight was better than the fight with Kirito. Like the fight with Kirito was more about like who packs the most punch, who has more like, it was like a pissing contest. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. To me, it just didn't feel like there was much weight to it. Because like, I don't know. It just story-wise, it was very weak for me. I don't know what I expected. I don't know why I expected so much.
I know. Shame on us for expecting better of SAO. We should have known.
That's honestly shame on us. Like this is our bad. This is our fault for like this video being created right now is our fault. Like not SAO's fault. Because like otherwise we would have just ignored it. We wouldn't even have cared.
Yeah, all the comments are gonna be like, dude, what do you expect? It's SAO.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I can't expect more, and shame on me for watching it. Like, how many seasons do they have now? This is like, I guess their 4th one.
4th or 5th?
Types. Yeah, 4th or 5th. And I watched all of them.
Yeah. In the end of the day, SAO is still that brainless show you watch just for the visuals and action. That's it.
Yeah, disappointment is an understatement.